Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum viewers. You are watching YouTube and Facebook channels of Professor Dr. Rizwan Jamil Qureshi. Welcome to the lecture number 17 of Software Economics course. Scrum and XP are the most widely used models from the Agile family. I will call it Agile family of methodologies. XP era was from 2001 to 2010, and 2010 onwards, Scrum is most widely practiced methodology. It was introduced by Ken Schwaber, and it has its own values. It has 5 values. The first value is deliver often, every demo, every release. So you can get feedback from the customer. Deliver every demo, every release. So you can get feedback from the customer to have continuous feedback loop. And then the cross-functional team. Cross-functional team, already I discussed in the last lecture that you can swap the roles among the team members and let the team decides how to complete the user stories. So project manager or the system analyst or the stakeholders, they have no involvement, and let the team handles how to assign the roles, how to deal with the stories, what story they want to accomplish. It's up to them. And you must have cross-functional team. If they are not cross-functional, you have to train them to become cross-functional. And then the third value is daily meetings. We already have daily meetings in every software company, in other companies, even other organizations, factories, they have daily meeting. But what's the difference in the daily meeting of Scrum is that you have to inspect daily. You have to test it. Whatever the increment in progress, you have to test it to identify the bugs early. As early you have bugs, as early you are able to fix them. And when you are doing daily basis, automatically at the release time, you have minimum number of bugs. So in order to control the quality assurance, to improve the quality of the release, which is called sprint in Scrum. Scrum concept is taken from rugby game. So you have sprint like release. In XP we call it release, but in Scrum we call it sprint. So like we have sprint. So sprint you test daily. It's like smoke testing, like smokers do smoking daily. So smoke testing, the daily testing, whatever the code, how much you have completed, you have to test it. Fourth value is Scrum Master. This is a new concept in software companies, in software industry, that Scrum Master is one of the team members, and he is a facilitator. He is a chief impediment remover. Chief impediment remover, to remove any hurdles, any barriers, any problem. He is there to help the team. For example, programming team needs help, he is there. Testing team, quality assurance team needs any help, he is there. Database team, configuration team, architect team, the team lead is there. But like database team has head, programming team has head. He is there as a facilitator, as a gel, as a lubricant. Any team has any problem regarding the meetings, regarding the resources, he is there. Or like a backup guy, like you have reserve team member. So any team needs help, he is there to help them, and he is there to remove any problems, any hurdles, barriers regarding the stories, regarding architecture, regarding the design, regarding the in terms of interfaces, in terms of requirements, in terms of testing. He's facilitator. And any team member, like in one sprint, like you have 7 to 10 team members or 20 team members, any team member can become Scrum Master. Like for first sprint, Muhammad Khamis is the Scrum Master. Second sprint, Abdullah Abdul Salam can be the Scrum Master. Or, for example, Hussain Matab, Muhammad Adnan. So you can swap the roles. So it's not fixed role. So that's the job of Scrum Master, to remove the barriers, to help the team members in terms of any problem during the sprint. He is there to help them. Resources in terms of communication, coordination, meeting arrangement, anything. He's like a backup guy to support our teams. So this is the new concept in software development. And then you have product owner. Project manager will act the role of product owner. He is a representative of team as well as he is a representative of customer. So he will go to the customer side to collect the requirements, and then we call them stories, and then he will prioritize them. In XP, customer will prioritize, but in Scrum, product owner will prioritize the stories, order the stories, story number 1, story number 2, story number 3, and so on. And then the team will decide what story they want to implement first, second, third, according to the meeting they have. It's called sprint planning meeting. So in the sprint planning meeting, team will decide how to accomplish the story and who will do the role of Scrum Master or the teams like programming team, database team, quality assurance team, architect team. So these are the 5 values. Now stakeholders will not directly communicate to the team. They have to communicate with the product owner. No direct interaction of stakeholders, customer with the team. Product owner is in between. So he is there to absorb the pressure or the stress or the requirements, and then he will pass it to the team, and then Scrum Master and the team will decide how to accomplish. These are the 5 values of Scrum. In Scrum, normally we have 15 to 20 members, but Agile methodologies like XP, we have 7 to 10 members. Ideally 3 to 5 or 5 to 7 in some books, some references. But in software companies, they have 7 to 10 team members for XP. But for Scrum, you have 15 to 20 team members. And in XP, you have release cycle of 2 weeks, maximum 3 weeks. In Scrum, you have 4-week cycle or 3 to 4 week cycle is there. So that's the release cycle. Time is different, duration is different in XP and Scrum. Because XP is recommended for small projects, for 2 month, 3 month projects. 2 months, 3 months project. Scrum is used for small to medium scale projects. Even you can customize it for large scale projects. Then you have main roles in the Scrum. You have product owner, you have Scrum Master, and you have the Scrum team. So these are the 3 main participants of the Scrum methodology. Now you have Scrum SDLC. In the Scrum SDLC, we have plan 1, like for sprint 1, plan 1, build 1, test 1, review 1, and the sprint 1. Plan 2, build 2, test 2, review 2, and sprint. Then plan 3, build, test, review, and sprint 3. It's up to the customer and the team. They want 3 sprints as 1 release or first sprint as 1 release. Normally multiple sprints are delivered to the customer as 1 release. So that is the release cycle, the SDLC of the Scrum. Plan, build, test, review. Sprint 1, Sprint 2, Sprint 3 and so on. You have Scrum flow diagram. Release can be a collection of sprints. Release is the concept like delivery. We can call it shipment. We can call it increment. But the sprint is a one small part of the release because you are covering 2 stories or 3 stories in one sprint. So it's not enough functionality for the customer to use it. Working version. It's not enough for the customer, but it's ready to use. So then sprint 2, now you have some more functions, some more stories. So it's up to the customer. He wants one sprint as one release, or you can have multiple sprints, 1, 2, 3 as one release. So it's a larger functionality of the system to implement. So customer can use it. Because after that, once customer start using it, after he approves it, he has to release the payment. The payment cycle will start. So you can deliver one sprint as one release, or you can have 2 sprints or 3 sprints as one release. Then you have Scrum flow diagram. How Scrum works. You have product backlog. So product backlog is the collection of requirements, the stories, the product owner collected from the customer. He will arrange them in order as product backlog. It's a backlog like 10 stories or 12 stories, 13 stories. Now the team has a meeting. It's called sprint planning meeting. As in the SDLC we have plan. So this is called sprint planning meeting. Now the team will select how many stories they pick from the product backlog to develop in the first sprint. So it could be 2 stories, 3 stories or 4 stories. It's up to the team. Product backlog is there. Total number of stories collected from the customer. Product owner will not force them. How many stories you pick? They can pick 3 stories to deliver in the first sprint, or 2 stories they can pick to deliver in first sprint. Because release cycle is 3 to 4 weeks. So normally they have 3 to 4 stories in one sprint. So that's called sprint planning meeting. And then you have sprint backlog. Now how many stories team selected, including the Scrum Master and the team, they call it sprint backlog. It could be 3 stories, it could be 4 stories. And then they build it. They test it, including unit testing, integration testing, system testing. And then they have alpha from the product owner. Because product owner is dealing with the customer as representative of team, as well as he is playing double role. He is the representative of customer as well. And then you have alpha testing, and it is ready to ship to the customer, ready to deploy at the customer side. But before, because product owner will approve it. If it is approved, then they have sprint review meeting. Now in the sprint review meeting, they revise. It's like verification. Again, they call product owner to check the stories they pick from product backlog in the sprint backlog. Any missing function, any missing logic, any implementation issue. Because now, after the sprint review meeting, they have to deliver to the customer. It's the last check before delivery, before release, before shipment. So if the product owner has no problem and team is agreed, product owner is agreed that these are the functions or requirements, stories customer need, and we have not missed anything, any function, any logic, any implementation issue, release it as sprint 1, sprint 2 or sprint 3 as one release. So if it is first sprint, can be delivered if customer wants. So it will go for beta testing, and in the beta testing, if customer approved the beta, he can ask you to release the final version, or he can say this is not enough functionality. You deliver second sprint, then we will decide that we deploy 2 sprints together as one release, or we will wait for the third sprint. So that's the process. After this, you have, if you deploy 1 sprint or 2 sprints or 3 sprints as one release, then you have sprint retrospective. So after the release, like 1 sprint, customer agreed to deploy. Then you have sprint retrospective meeting. It is again meeting. So we have sprint planning meeting, sprint review meeting, and sprint retrospective meeting. There are 3 meetings. In the sprint retrospective meetings, you have a check. You will revise the whole process. Like in the sprint review meeting, you revise the sprint, that anything missing in the function, logic, or implementation. In the sprint retrospective meeting, you check your processes, that any extra process, any extra activity, any extra team member, so they can optimize their process. Like improvement in the collaboration, improvement in the quality of delivery. So optimization, like we have web optimization. So you have process optimization. So sprint review meeting is to improve your sprint, whereas sprint retrospective meeting is to improve your processes, your activities. You have done any mistakes, so lessons learned from your mistakes, so you will not repeat them in the next sprint. So that's the process, that after every sprint, once it's approved and it's ready to deploy, you have sprint retrospective meeting to improve your processes, to learn from your mistakes, so you will not repeat those mistakes in the next sprint. Extra processes should be removed. Extra activities should be removed. Extra team member should be removed. So you have continuous learning. It is called disciplined learning. Continuous improvement of your processes, improvement of the team. That is the reason there is a criteria to select agile team, that they have the attitude, they have the behavior to learn from their mistakes, not to defend their mistakes, not to defend their failure. They can accept and they can change their self according to the situation, according to the environment, according to the software, according to the customer. So that is the sprint retrospective meeting. This flow is for 1 sprint. Then each sprint, you pick 3 stories for the first sprint, or 4 stories. Then you have sprint backlog, 4 stories are there. You build them, you test them, you review them, and it's ready to ship. And then you have sprint review meeting to improve your sprint. Any missing function, any logic, any implementation issue, it's a verification process. Then if product owner approves the sprint, you will go to the customer side to have beta testing. And if customer approves beta, then you release the sprint. Sprint cycle is completed. Once you deliver the sprint to the customer, you have sprint retrospective meeting to improve your process, improve your activities, improve your team. So for each sprint, you have this process. Then you have core scrum and barnacles. Core scrum is the 5 values. Core scrum is the 5 values. Release every demo and ask the customer to give feedback. Deliver often, every release, every demo. Second, we discuss, let the team decide, cross-functional team. And then we discuss that there is a scrum master who is a facilitator, there is a product owner who is there to play the role of customer as well as representative of team, to prioritize the stories, to approve the story, approve the sprint, and inspect daily. They test daily testing on daily basis, like smoke testing. And barnacles are the external shell of Scrum. In Scrum, you have a technique, it's called burn down chart. Like Gantt chart, we have burn down chart to display your schedule, to display the process of the release. And then there is Kanban. Kanban schedule displaying technique taken from lean manufacturing, lean methodology. Lean methodology is taken from manufacturing industry, so it is used as a schedule displaying technique. So it's up to the team, they use burn down chart or they use Kanban. Kanban is now widely practiced in software companies, in agile companies, agile software development companies. And there is a tool, it's called Jira. It's a popular project management tool to display your schedule, to have monitoring and managing the project. So it's a project management tool for agile methodologies. Jira. One of my students, his name is Hassan. He is working in Bahrain. His company, his name is Ericsson. So Ericsson company is very popular company for mobile phones and other electronics. So Jira, they are using Jira. The company is using Jira as a project management tool and they are implementing agile methodology. Microsoft, Google, IBM, Yahoo company, they all are now switched to Scrum, and many companies all over the world are using Scrum, and the Scrum is very popular methodology in the period of 2011 to 2020 and still it's ongoing. So use Kanban, use Scrum Master, product owner or team lead, invite product owner in the daily meeting, answer 3 questions at the start of each daily meeting. What went wrong yesterday? How to make it correct? And what are the tasks of today? So what are the yesterday tasks? How much completed? Why not completed? And what are the today's tasks? That is the barnacles. There are always rumors about that project, about the team, about the progress. So you don't need to care about the rumors. You need to focus on the core Scrum, and barnacles are the choice to the team what they want. They want to use burn down chart, they want to use Kanban, they want to invite product owner in daily meetings or not, or only in the sprint review meeting and in the sprint retrospective meeting. They want to use Scrum Master terminology, or they want to play the role of team lead as Scrum Master or product owner as Scrum Master. It's up to them. But there must be a Scrum Master and there must be a product owner. How they manage, it's up to the team. That is about the core Scrum, barnacles and the rumors. This is burn down chart. So you have sprint, and then you have sprint in terms of number of days, and you have story point. Your sprint is milestone. Story point is the amount of time to complete a story. It could be hours, it could be days. So in this burn down chart, you have story point as vertically and number of days. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days. How many stories, story point you assign to a story? 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160. Blue color is ideal effort hours and red color effort remaining. So that is the ideal blue line, that you have to complete first story at the first day and at the every time is mentioned, and then second story point, third story point, fourth story point, till you have 9, 10. So that's the burn down chart to display the progress of your project. The story point shows how many stories point you assign to one story, how many effort hours you assign to complete one story. Effort hours. So story point is the time in terms of effort you assign to complete a story, and that is the vertical axis. The horizontally, you have number of days that you are taking to complete that story point. So you have, for example, 160 story points you assign for one sprint, and you start from 160 till you reach to 0 number of hours. So you assign story point during sprint planning meeting, how many effort hours you will take to complete that story. During sprint planning meeting, when you are picking 2 stories or 3 stories, you assign them story points, how much time in terms of effort will take to complete it. So that's the story point for each story. So like release cycle is 3 to 4 weeks. So they will pick first story, then they will discuss during sprint planning meeting how much story point we are assigning to this story, how much effort and time we will take to complete this story. For example, 10 days for first story. Then they will pick second story, and then they will assign story point and number of days. Again for second story, 10 days or 15 days. Now you have 3 to 4 weeks for one release, one sprint. Once you have finished 24 days, that means 3 weeks almost completed. So you will finish your meeting and you decide, okay, during this sprint, we will complete 2 stories. And this is the story point for this story, and this is the time for this story. So during sprint planning meeting, you will assign story point and the amount of time in terms of days. Story point is the effort in terms of hours, how many hours we need. And here, horizontally, you have number of days, how many days we need to complete it. This chart, you have to draw daily basis. During the sprint, daily basis. This chart is in front of team. So daily they are, after first day, where you are, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day, 7th day, 10 days, 15 days, 20 days. So one sprint is approved, then for the next sprint, another burn down chart start. So it's a continuous progress to show to the team members that where we are, how much we completed, what left to track. So you will deal daily where you are. Like ideal is Sirate Mustaqim, the planned, and then daily basis you have to show where you are, how much far you are from the planned actual schedule, what is the planned schedule. So you can see the difference between them. So you can take corrective action to cover the gap, to bridge the gap. Like you can see, after first day you are behind the schedule, second day you are behind the schedule, third day you bridge the gap because now you have the learning about the project, you have enough knowledge, then you overtake the plan and you are above the schedule, and till 8 days you are going above, and then you get down and you are behind the schedule, and then you bridge the gap and you complete it. So this is something like 120 is the speed limit on highway, or 140, that is the maximum. So you will try to get close to that. Sometime 130 or like 120 is the limit, sometime 110, 115, sometime 125. So that's the concept for the burn down chart. It's continuous monitoring, daily basis. Then you have human work motivation and management strategies models. We have push model, which is called X, theory Y. Y is the pull. The push is used in the construction industry, in the manufacturing industry, whereas the pull is used in research environment, in software development environment, in creative environment, where mental work is there. So push is for physical work and pull is for mental work. So the push model, it's best for physical work like construction, manufacturing industry. Whereas Why? Or pull model, it works best for creative work, mental work like software development. In push, workers are lazy because it's a physical work and people are forcing them, pushing them, the managers, the bosses, the chief executive. But here, workers are energetic and motivated because they are working as one team. Nobody is forcing them, nobody is pressurizing them because the project manager or product owner will absorb the pressure. Stakeholders will push to the product owner, but he will deal with the team as pull model. So he is there as like shocks. So when you are driving your car, your shocks will absorb the pressure or the jerks of the road. If road is bumpy, shocks will absorb the pressure or stress. So you will not feel that at the driving seat because your shocks are absorbing. So like team is there. So the project manager or product owner is there as a mediator. So he is like a barrier between you and the stakeholders, investors, customers. So customers are always pressurizing, but he will deal with you with the pull strategy and he will absorb all pressure and he will ask you to feel free. So you work in a friendly environment, in a free environment instead of pressurizing by the customer. So they are much more energetic, much more motivated. In the push, management knows best. So they don't disclose to the team, to the labor, to the workforce how to work. They just dictate them. Do this, do this. So they have all the information. But in pull, management only knows the direction. You tell them how much you have completed as a team and how much is left. So just tell them. They don't involve, like product owner doesn't involve inside how the team is working. Management dictates how to work is accomplished. Here, workers know, team knows how they are going to complete it. They have all expertise about the development environment, about the requirements, about the architecture, about the database, about the testing tools. So they are professional people, expert people, specialized people. In push, productivity improve under stress. If they are pushed in the construction, in manufacturing environment, productivity improves. But in the software development environment, a creative environment, innovative environment, if you push them, there is like gunpoint. You will do more bugs, you will do more errors, and productivity will decrease instead of increasing. Because pressure, under pressure, your brain will not work. It's a creative work. You have to design the logic, you have to implement it. Under the stress, under pressure, your productivity will decrease instead of increasing. Like hurry, jaldi, jaldi, sura, sura, sura. You cannot work in software development like this. You cannot develop a software under pressure, under gunpoint. Push shows command and control, whereas pull reflects trust and ownership. Team feels that management trusts them and they feel the freedom of liberty of work and they feel it's my company, like Google, like Microsoft, like IBM, like Facebook. The team members, the people who are working there, they don't want to leave, they don't want to switch because the companies gave them trust that you have the ability, you have the skills to do your job, and they don't demotivate them, they don't degrade them, don't insult them. Even in case of failure, no problem, because failure is the first step of learning, first step of success. So they give them ownership, they give them confidence. that we trust you. We have trust in you. We have confidence in you. We owe you. So this concept of owing, ownership, give them motivation, give them feel that it is my company. If you keep on insulting your team, your employees, that you are a wastage, we don't need you. If you want to work, it's up to you. We don't need you. Get out, get lost, insult them, abuse them. Then they don't want to work in such environment. So the Scrum or Agile or software development environment, we have pull model. That's the difference between push and the pull. These are the both motivation and management strategies or models. Let me show you that the trust and ownership increased in case of pull, and it brings energy and innovation. Like Google, Sundar Pichai was just an employee when he joined Google, but because of his innovations, because of his new tools, contribution in the Google, he became the chief executive of Google. He's an Indian guy and he's the highest paid chief executive in the world. So that is because of his contribution in the Google, and he's a shareholder of Google as well. So the trust and ownership will incorporate energy and innovation among the team members, whereas push shows command and control and decrease the trust, decrease the ownership. You feel like you are exploited, you are blackmailed, you are insulted, you are degraded. So the software companies, especially advanced countries, they prefer to use pull strategy. But in third world, second world countries, even in the software companies, still there are some companies who are using the push, and they don't like pull strategy. They don't want to give trust and ownership to the employees, so they will demand for better salary, better designations, just to keep them underpaid or keep them in the low designation. They don't give them pull environment. They don't provide them pull environment. Okay, thank you very much. Love you. Take care. Stay blessed, healthy and happy. Assalamu alaikum.